You've got a lot to put in there. 1 package of broccoli slaw. Now, I paid $2.89 for this yesterday. Last week it was on sale for $1.88, so it's a good price most of the time. You can make this in a total of probably 10 minutes. Now the broccoli slaw has broccoli, carrots, and a little bit of cabbage in it, so it's a good healthy slaw. You don't have to do anything with it other than throw it in the bowl. The next thing we need is a cup of unsalted sunflower seeds. And you can vary this. The sunflower seeds can get a bit pricey sometimes. So if you're paying a lot for it, you can go down to less. I'm only going to put in half a cup, I think, today. Whatever I can get in there without spilling. So it's variable how much you put in the way of the nuts. If you like sunflower seeds, put in more. If you don't care for them particularly, or you have false teeth where the seeds get cut underneath, put less. It doesn't really matter. The other thing that goes in, a package of Mr. Noodle without the seasoning. And you have to break it up. Take the seasoning package out, because we're going to use that later. And whatever you have to break up your Ramen noodles with, I'm going to use a soup can just because it's handy. I like to put it in a bag so I don't end up with it all over my counter. So I just put it in a sandwich bag and commence to pound. So you want it to be, can you see that size? About like that, broken up. You don't want any big pieces. So the only cutting and chopping you have to do for this recipe is you need a half cup of any kind of onion. You can use green onions. I'm using cooking onions today. And you want it to be finely chopped. Onion, put more in. If you don't like a whole lot of onion, put less in. Most of these recipes you can adjust to your taste. If you find when you go for sunflower seeds they're too expensive and you don't want to buy them, it's still edible without them in. The sunflower seeds just give a little bit of crunch. Now, somebody was asking a couple weeks ago for recipes for when you go camping. This is a good one to take when you go camping, because it keeps well. It's just as good 4 days from now as it is today. So you just want to make sure that everything is mixed together. Sunflower seeds have a tendency to go to the bottom until you add the liquid. So, first step already done. Next step is we need 1/2 cup of oil, and your olive oil is the best, but you can use any vegetable oil. And we need 1/2 cup of vinegar as well. And that package seasoning mix that you took out of the Mr. Noodle goes in with our liquids.
What kind is that?
It's chicken Mr. Noodle. It's a milder taste than some of the others. Now you'll notice in this recipe there is no salt and no pepper, and that's because the salt content in the Mr. Noodle is sky high already. You don't want to put more in there. And we also need, and I didn't bring it out, is some sugar. And you just mix this really well so it combines. If you have a mason jar or a jar with a good lid on it, just give it a good shake. You want the oil and vinegar and your seasonings all to combine. And we just pour it over the slaw. Now, it says you need to let this salad sit. It says 3 to 4 hours. I never let mine sit that much. But the reason you need to let it sit for a while is your liquid has to soften those Rami noodles. Otherwise, they'll be really, really crunchy. And also your slaw will absorb some of that liquid too. Right now, if you look at it, there's a lot of liquid in the bottom, but your noodles will soak that all up and soften. So that is recipe number 1. Super simple, good to take camping because if you are in tenting, it will not, the oil and vinegar in it will not spoil. The next recipe uses mayonnaise, so that's not one I would recommend to take camping. And it's basically the same recipe, but it's changed up just a little bit. So this one, instead of using the broccoli slaw, uses actually the broccoli. And I have not made this recipe before, so this is Laura Lee's recipe, so I'm not really sure how fine she chops her broccoli or anything like that. So we're going to be sort of winging it. Has a package of the ramen noodles, but it does not use the seasoning at all. So we're going to do the same thing. This is half a cup of sunflower seeds as well. And a few slices of bacon. Now, this bacon is already pre-cooked, so we don't even have to cook it. Open it up and slice it up a little bit. And it calls for? Sure. No, that's too much. I'll put another 2 slices in. Yeah, it doesn't call for fingertips. So that's all that goes in as far as the dry ingredients. We just give that a really good mix. So you've got broccoli florets, you've got the Rami noodles, you've got bacon, and you've got sunflower seeds. So this one uses mayonnaise. So this calls for 1/3 of a cup of, or no, 1/8 of a cup of sugar, sorry. I would have been making it really sweet. And I'm just eyeballing it. And half a cup, or I'm going to do a little bit more than half a cup of mayonnaise, and 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. And cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar. You can find it on any shelf in any grocery store. It's pretty straightforward. Now this one looks very different from the other one. And again, you have to let it sit for a while to let your noodles soften. And I think this one is going to take much longer to soften because there's not as much liquid. And you don't want to be leaving this out on the counter to soften, so put it in your fridge.